Okay, so we are done. So we have gone, I think. So let us start. Okay, today we are doing chapter 17, Shraddha, Traya, Vibhaga, Yoga. That is the divisions of faith. Let us pay obeisance to Sri Radha Govinda. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Nanaka Shalakaya Chakshaumitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavscha Sri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vintam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakana Vittamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dino Bandho Jagat Pate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuveva cha patitam nam pavanebhyo vaishnavyo namo namaha namo Vishnu padaya Krishna prastaya bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami te namane namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pascha Deshatarine Jayo Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. I think that is stop. Hare Krishna, Gayatri, Archana, everybody.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So what we did was we just have a short recap of what we did yesterday. So it was a chapter on demonic and divine qualities. So there Krishna was explaining about what are the differences with the divine and demonic qualities, and there's a choice for us to choose which one. So there are people who perform acts for self-realization and they follow strictly the scriptures. Okay, and they don't get into the escape. The gates are lust, kama, krodha, lobha, lust, anger, and greed. So when they follow the scriptures diligently and they be on the path of self-realization, they attain liberation, and those people are having divine qualities. But there are people who reject scriptures. They don't want to follow any Vedic scriptures. They want to act whimsically on their own, and they will be caught in this lust, greed, and anger. So they will be ultimately miserable and they don't get degraded. So people who are following these Vedic scriptures, they are the ones who are having divine qualities, and they won't reject scriptures are of demonic qualities. So, and in chapter 15 also, inverted banyan tree we saw, no? There it was said that Vedic scriptures do have all the regulations and things which are for the injunctions for the people to follow. Okay. And so when we look at that divine, the inverted tree, we are looking at two ends of it. That is, we saw that people who have to get liberated, they have to cut the entangle. That is, they have to chop the entanglement with the material nature. Only by detaching them you can go liberation. That's what we saw. So here people, and we saw it is this banyan tree is inverted and it is coming from it's a reflection of the spiritual sky. And it's on the desire. So people who are of divine qualities are that extreme top, and people who are in the demonic qualities are in the bottom. They are going below. They are having more and more sinful reactions. So now we are going to see people who are in the middle. So this is the query. It starts off with Arjuna's inquiry about unauthorized worship. Suppose they don't follow any injunctions, but they have some kind of worship. They are doing they have faith in something and they want to do it as per their own style. So what happens to them? Are they, which mode are they? So then Krishna says that depends on their faith and worship depends upon which mode they are, whether they are in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. Then along with that, so we are going to see on the lifestyle. So it's not like, we are in black, and they differentiate them. That is, a person's affiliations to a particular mode will determine the type of faith they have. Okay. So, and here he's talking about the lifestyle also matters. The foods they eat, whether the foods are again in 3 modes. Then sacrifices in 3 modes. Then 3 kinds of austerities. He talks about austerity of speech, mind, and the body. Then austerity in 3 modes and charity. And finally, he concludes talks about Om Tat Sat. Okay, how they should be offered to the Supreme. So here is mostly like the lifestyle we have. Today, we have not any faith, the religious or this. This is like a generic. You can really relate to this, whatever is talking today. It's more to what we are in this life today. So Arjuna said, "Oh Krishna, what is the situation of one who does not follow the principles of scriptures, but worships according to his own imagination? Is he in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance?" So here we have, and this flying spaghetti monster and sandwich, you can see even in the reference in Google and see it. Actually, this is flying spaghetti monster is by Anderson. It's like a light-hearted religion. They don't see, there was a lot of in the schools and all, they were talking about evolution, the Darwin's theory, and some people they were opposing it, and they took up this type of sect. So there were a lot of people which was shared in the Facebook and the net and all that. They had followers in this, like they had their own principles and they were following that. Their own type of religion. They formed their own rules and regulations and things. And Scientology is by American author, again Robert, a set of beliefs and practices invented by him. So they had their own. So like this, there's so many, if you Google it, you'll see that. They had faith in something. Okay. But that is something true, no? We all have faith in something. If we don't have faith, do you think we will invest the money in the bank? We believe them, no? We believe the bank people, we believe it, and so we invest our money, we should put our money in the bank. Like even we have faith in the rules and regulations, the traffic rules, so we follow that. So we do have some trust. Otherwise, if you don't have trust or faith, we cannot live. We have our own beliefs and trust. So here, many people, when you say immediately faith means, they will think like religious people. They will refer them to a people of having faith. Reality is that everyone has faith. You all put in faith in many things, even on the doctors also, you have faith in that particular doctor. So you always refer to him, go to him and then take his advice and you believe in him. So to have faith means to have some opportunity, a reward, and you value in something, that is the thing, because you have. And accordingly, one's faith, we have our own objects of adoration, reverence, and also in the worship. So in different ways. So what does Lord say? Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Gayatri, you like to try this sloka? Hare Krishna. I didn't know that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, you can try this sloka. Trivida Bhavati Shraddha.
Trivida Bhavanti Shraddha, Dehimamsa Swabhavacha, Satviki Rajasi Chaiva, Tamasi Cheti Tam Srinu.
So the Supreme Lord said, according to the modes of nature acquired by the embodied soul, one's faith can be of 3 kinds. Again, goodness, passion, or ignorance. Now here, Tam Srinu means hear about this. So here now we can see people who are in the mode of goodness, sattva guna, they're always, they're in the mode of knowledge, that's what. So they will be focusing on getting knowledge, and their thing is to get mukti, to get liberated, and they will try to endeavor to reach the Brahman realization. So this is what the people in the mode of goodness. Whereas if Rajas Guna, they're always in fruitive activities. They're very active. They want to do some work and so activities. So they will start off with the Karma Kanda, and slowly they can rise up to Karma Yoga, and then they can go to higher planets, Swarga Loka also, because they look at the Vedic scriptures and do it. And whereas people are in Shuddha Sattva, that is pure goodness, then they are taken to straight away to Bhakti Yoga, and they will try to reach the Goloka, that is to go back to the Krishna. Here, these people will be stuck in some Brahman, those realizations we have, that. So it depends upon their faith, whether they are in which type, and if, of course, ignorance, they don't go into any of this. They are indifferent to all the faith. They don't believe in this. They're mostly like atheists. According to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired. So this is what the Lord says. So it depends upon this mentality, as I said, we carry it from our previous birth. Whatever the modes of thing was predominant. When we transmigrate from one body to other, we go with our subtle body, right? That means we go with our karmic reactions about for the pious activities and impairs, all those reactions will take, plus our desires will go, and plus the mentality, what nature we had been, that predominantly, whether it was a sattva guna or thing in the previous lives. So that mentality also will carry on, that type of thing. So that's how we get. In fact, you can see, even in children, there will be of different temperaments, isn't it? From birth, there's nothing been told to them. From birth itself, there'll be some will be very active, they'll be sportive, they'll be so restless and thing. Whereas some children will be very calm, they like to read, they like to paint, and they are different. And some not bothered, they're just lethargic. So these I think are the vasanas which they have carried from there. Nobody taught them, but how they go forward depends how they can change their destiny. That's what we are learning in Bhagavad Gita. So again, Gayatri, you can try this. Janti Satvika Devan.
Yajanti Satvika Devan, Yaksha Rakshasi Rajasaha, Pretan Bhuta Ganamams China, Yajante Tamasa Jana.
So here men in the mode of goodness worship the demigods, those in the mode of passion worship the demons, and those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. So this we have seen in India, there are a lot of people here there, they worship ghosts and spirits. They go to the forest and they see that tree has some ghost, they'll go and do puja to that tree also. So they have, because of the ghosts they have. So there are different kind of people who worship with the mentality. So here it's very clearly mode of goodness, they worship the demigods, and those who are in mode of passion worship demons. And Bhuta Prema, I think this is there mostly in the Mangaloreans, they do Bhuta, worship the Bhutas. And those who and then we talked about the worshipping and also the penance, the austerities they perform, those who undergo severe austerities and penances, not recommended in the scriptures, performing them out of pride, egotism, lust, and attachment, who are impelled by passion, and who are torture their bodily organs as well as the super soul dwelling with them are known to be demons. So here, many of these practices are not there in the Vedics. Like even simple fasting, the politicians sit and fast to get some votes or to get some, they want to stress their point and all that. That's not there in the Vedic scriptures. But fasting is there, like, today is Ekadashi. So we have the fasting, we don't take grains. So that is certain. Twice a month we follow that. Is there, those things are there in the scriptures, but not like fasting done by the politicians. No. And here we see, Ravana could carry the Kailasha itself. He could lift it. Whereas Hiranyakashipu, he did such a severe cutting. And we have all these Naga Babas, no, they do such kind of yogic practices. So these are all said to be done in the mode of passion. And they torture their body organs, which is not recommended, in fact. And they are supposed to be in the mode of passion. They are a misled mentality. So it's not, they want to show off, they have certain egoism, and they think that is the right way to get mystic powers. Now, see, he talked about the austerities. Then now he's talking about the faith we saw, austerities we saw. Now he talks about food. Foods in a mode of goodness increase the duration of life, then purify one's existence and give strength, okay, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Such nourishing foods are sweet, juicy, fattening, and palatable. So the sattvic food, they are the ones, they will increase our life, duration of life, purify our existence, and give strength. Such things are sweet and juicy. But there are foods that are bitter, too sour, too salty, pungent, and not like they are the ones people in the modes of passion. Such foods cause pain, distress, and disease. If you take too much of pungent, hot, spicy food, ultimately you might end up with ulcers or some food stomach problems, isn't it? So that is there. But food cooked more than 3 hours before being eaten, which is tasteless, stale, putrid, decomposed, unclean, is food liked by people in the mode of ignorance. There are people who eat these cheeses, with a lot of worms in it. There. So I don't know, but there is the ignorance. So that is not recommended. So food is supposed to be for your ayu, life. Sattva is to purify you and to give you strength. But so we also have a saying, we are what we eat, isn't it? So that depends. So even in food, he has classified as mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. So after food is talking about the sacrifices. The sacrifice that performed according to duty. You think that is your duty, and it is in the scriptures, rules, and with no expectation of reward, is of the nature of goodness. So that is our sacrifice. Yagna, Sankirtana Yagna today, Japa Yagna is our Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Sankirtana Yagna is the Yagna for to do in Kali Yuga. Okay. So this is the thing that is as per the Vedic scriptures and is given in the scriptures, and there's only is done as a duty because we have told that it is the yagna for this Kali Yuga. So if you do that, you will get a lot of benefits. We saw that. But that sacrifice performed for some material end or benefit or performed ostentatiously out of pride is of the nature of passion or achievement. It is there. There are a lot of sacrifices given in the Vedas, that Karma Kanda, Upasa, there is Jnana Kanda. There are a lot of things there, like if you worship the sun god, you do in a certain way and all that, then you will get some material benefits. Or to Saraswati, goddess Saraswati, and for sun god is for your health, and like that. But if you are doing it out of pride, that you want for some benefit, you are doing it, you want to show off, then there are people who do that. A lot of yagnas they will carry out and they want to show their opulence, and they will say that they are doing so much charity to the brahmanas. And such kind of thing when they do, it is said to be in the mode of passion. Okay, they want to do, mostly their intention is to show off and for their pride. Okay, and that is what, so that is also that type of sacrifice is known as the. But sacrifice performed in defiance of scriptural injunctions, in which no spiritual food is distributed, no hymns are chanted, and no remunerations are made to the priest, and which is faithless. That sacrifice is the nature of ignorance. Here it was Bhasmashura. He used to cut a part of his body, and put it in the fire. He was worshipping Lord Shiva in that way. That was his sacrifice. He was doing this tapas. So, and it was for what you had a intention was different. No, you wanted a mystic power, so benediction, so that if you touch somebody's head, they should be destroyed. So Bhasma, so that type of thing. So they were such demonic thing. They are, and it is not given in the Veda, in the Vedic injunctions, that you cut parts of your body and sacrifice and do that kind of tapas. Okay, but Shiva is very lot of merciful. He always be with all these such mode of ignorance people to try to bring them back to the Lord. So he does give the benediction, of course. So they produce a demonic mentality. So such sacrifices produces demonic mentality. Okay. Gayatri, you can try this. Deva Dvija Prajna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Deva Dvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Saucham Arjavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsa cha Shariram Tapa Uchyate.
So now he talks about, now he is going to talk about austerities of the body, mind, and speech. So austerity of the body, that consists in this worship of the Supreme Lord, right? Then worship of the Brahmanas. Brahmanas means not the by birth. Brahmanas would be who know the Vedic scriptures, who are learned people in the things, and they follow those scriptures. So they are the Brahmanas. Okay, and the spiritual master, who is like we said Prabhupada, or the spiritual master who is leading us towards self-realization, and superiors like the father, mother, teachers, all of them. So you do the pranams to them. Austerity of the body is your thing. And also austerity of the body also includes cleanliness, saucha, simplicity. You should be simple, celibacy, and non-violence are also austerities of the body. Okay. So that's what Krishna talks about, the austerities of the body. Next, austerities of speech. Now carry out, no? Gayatri, you can write.
Yes, right. Anudvega karam vaikyam satyam priya hitam cha yat swadhyaya vyasanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchati.
Okay. So austerity of speech. So see, austerity means that you are trying to perform austerity. I mean, it's very difficult to practice, but it is something you want to discipline yourself. So in speech also, it's there to be discipline, austerity of speech. That consists in speaking truthfully and beneficially, and in avoiding speech that offends. I mean, you should not offend people. They should, and another thing is you can recite Vedas. That is also will give you good. That will be an austerity of speech. Instead of talking about the mundane things, topics, and all that, you can take up reading the books, the Vedas from the things. So that also can be done. Austerity of speech, you can spend some time on that. So that is known as austerity of speech. And here we have Maharaj Yudhishthira. So this is the known as penance of speech. Penance of body we saw, and then penance of speech. And serenity, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purity of thought are the austerities of the mind. That is, goodness people will be always calm and content. That's how they practice their austerities. Whereas passion, they are always dissatisfied, they are always anxious. Whereas ignorance people are always bewildered and confused. So here this picture, you see, this is a pastime of Shukadev Goswami. He was in the womb of his mother for almost 16 years. He didn't want to come out at all because it was a dukhalaya. He didn't want to get caught in the mayas, modes of nature. And finally, Krishna gives him the benediction that nothing will happen to you. I'll give you liberation now itself. So he gets liberated. And once he comes out of the body from his mother's womb, he just runs towards the forest. Nothing. He won't even spend a second with his parents. His father would be the Vedvyas. He'll be running behind him, calling out to him, please come back, because he wanted to teach him Vedic scriptures and all that, so that he will be well versed in all that. But he wouldn't stay. And here there are women who are taking bath. When Sukadev Goswami passed, they didn't bother because they saw him to be pure in his mind and everything, and they could understand that. But the minute when they saw Vedvyas behind, they all rushed to cover themselves. So this is what you could make out from them, how pure the person is. So, okay, you can try this again. Shraddhaya paraya taptam tapasta.
Shraddhaya paraya taptam tapastat trividam narihi apalakamshabir yuktai satvikam parikshate.
So this threefold austerity practiced by men whose aim is not to benefit themselves materially, but to please the Supreme is of the nature of goodness. So what we talk, austerity of the body, austerity of mind, austerity of the speech also, okay? That is to please the Supreme Lord and not for themselves. So the body, speech and mind we saw. So these are the devotees who are practicing this austerity measures as given by the law. Prabhupada, no, he has given them so many austerities to practice. They had no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and also no gambling. They were very strict. And actually, they were so used to taking drinks and meat and all that. Finally, they gave up everything. That was the austerity measures they followed, and they went practice the ABCD Prince Sadhana. They practice that. Satkara, again, you can start on this. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Satkara mana pujartam tapo tambevana chaivayat krityathe tad iha proktam rajasam chalam adruvam.
So those ostentation penances and austerities which are performed in order to gain respect, honor, reverence are said to be in the mode of passion. They are neither stable nor permanent. So that doesn't help them, because even if they do that, they only want people to respect them. They want people to worship them. So there are people who do that and they expect people to honor, they want fame and all that, self-glorification. So they are said to be in the mode of passion. And then Muda Grane. Hare Krishna. Muda Grane.
Mataji, can I try?
Yeah, try.
मूढग्राहेणात्मनायत पीडया क्रियते तपः परस्योत्स्यानधानर्थम् वातत्तामसमुदाहृतम्.
My God, so nice. Thank you so much. And those penances and austerities which are performed foolishly by means of abstinent self-torture or to destroy or injure others are said to be in the mode of ignorance. So they are doing all these tapas to get some power to destroy others. We saw, no, Hiranyakashipu. He did such so long penances, no, for Lord Brahma. And what was the benediction? He wanted to be immortal, but he couldn't be that. So he got all the other things. That is, he cannot, should not be killed by any weapons, nor inside the house or outside, nor in the morning, nor in the night. And so many things. He had a big list. Okay. So but that is, and finally when he got it, he becomes so proud and so this thing that he thought that no one can defeat him, and he used to start torturing others. He wanted others to treat him as God, So so they are doing that with intention to destroy others. So that kind of thing, austerities or penances, when they do with such self-torturing their body and all that, is to injure others, to destroy others. So they are supposed, such kind of thing is known to be mode of ignorance, because they are not thinking of the Lord, Supreme Lord. They are only thinking of how to get the power and how to lord over the others. Now comes to about charity. See, we never thought, no, charity also could be in the mode of goodness or in mode of passion and things. Again, try Akash. Now I liked it. You did very well.
Yes, Mataji. दातव्यमिति यद्दानं दीयते नुपकारिणे देशे काले च पात्रे च तद्दानं सात्विकं स्मृतम्.
So that gift which is given out of duty at the proper time and place to a worthy person and without expectation of return is considered to be charity in the mode of goodness. See, many times we think, no, we do charity and thing, but if it is misused, you give some money to some people and they take it and use it to buy small cigarettes or for drinking. So then that you think you have given charity to them, you will get some punya, but actually you will also share their papa because that is used for some other sinful reactions. So that reaction you also will share. So it is very, you have to be very discriminative when you give charity. So charity in the mode of goodness is you're doing it not for, you would have done it out of duty and you would also thought no expectations, but still you have to give it to a worthy person. That is very important. And it's much better to give them food rather than give them money, isn't it? In many cases, at least that will be there, not, they won't misuse the money you give. Instead of give them food or clothes. So charity in the mode of goodness is said when they do it out of duty at the proper time and place and to a worthy person. Okay. Without expectation of return is said to be charity in the mode of goodness. And here we see Nand Maharaj giving out of charity to many brahmanas and everyone when Krishna was born. Okay, Nand Maharaj in this. Now Akash, you can try this.
Yes, Mataji. Yattu pratyupakarartham phalam uddishya va punah diyate cha pariklishtam taddanam rajasam smritam.
So the picture shows clearly, the charity performed with expectation of some return, or with a desire for fruitive results, or in a grudging mood, is said to be charity in the mode of passion. So here the person is taking a selfie, he wants to put it in the papers, or you want to share in the Facebook or in the web, that he is doing some charity. So, and I think many things like this happened during Corona time, right? Lot of politicians had their bags with their names put in and all that. So we saw all that. So they are the ones who are expecting some results. They want some votes, they want some fame, they want to be done. And some people are there who do it without, they don't like to do charity, but they are forced to do it. So grudging mode. So they are supposed to be done in the charity, the mode of passion. Now, Adesha Kali. Carry on.
Adeshakale yaddanam apatrebhyascha diyate asatrutam avajñatam tattamasamudahritam.
So charity performed at an improper place and time and given to unworthy persons without respect and with contempt is charity in the mode of ignorance. So here the person wants help for what? To buy some drugs and things. Okay. So that is not the thing. So they are the charity in the mode of ignorance. We should be very careful when you're doing charity. So you should be indiscriminate charity. But one thing you notice, with Krishna is covering everything. So talked about charity, food. This all we are doing in our lifestyle, right? Which is we can easily understand this concept. So from the beginning of creation, the 3 syllables Om Tat Sat have been used to indicate the supreme absolute truth, Brahman. They were uttered by Brahmanas while chanting Vedic hymns and during sacrifices for the satisfaction of the Supreme. Now he's going to explain about these 3 words. Actually, we keep hearing Om Hari Om, Om Namah Shivaya. Everywhere we use Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat. So this is what is being there. So thus the translation is undertake sacrifices, charities and penances, beginning always with Om to attain the Supreme. So what that Om means Vishnu. It is placed at the beginning of the Vedic hymns to indicate the Supreme God. But many times we utter that without knowing the meaning, right? So here in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says Om means Vishnu. It is placed at the beginning of Vedic hymns to indicate the Supreme God. In fact, Om was used even in chapter 8 also, no? We had in Vedic scriptures, in chapter 8.13. That time also, glories of Omkara was described. If at the time of death, one remembers Omkara, he remembers the Supreme Personality of Godhead. and therefore immediately he'll be transferred to spiritual world. So it is there in all Vedic mantras. Ultimate goal is to reach Krishna, isn't it? And then again, he says in chapter 9, Vedaischa sarvairaham eva vedaha. The transcendental sound, Om, is further explained in Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter, 17th verse. I am the father of the universe, mother, support, grandeur, and the object of knowledge, purifier, and the syllable Om. I am also Rig Veda, Samaveda, and Ajur. So he says, now again in this chapter 17, here again he is talking about this transcendental sound Om. Okay, so it says only this vibration sound can deliver a conditional soul from the clutches of Maya. So in Srimad Bhagavatam also starts there. Dhruva Maharaj was given this mantra by Narada Muni. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He was supposed to chant this, and Omkara is as good as Vishnu. It's all persevere. So Om was referred many times during this Bhagavad Gita, as I said. And then he says one should perform sacrifice, penance, and charity with the word Tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from the material entanglement. That describes detached work for the sake of liberation. These activities are done with disregard for material results. So Om Tat Sat, that is the activities done. Om means we are addressing the Lord. That is the activities we do. And then absolute truth is the objective of devotional service, and it is indicated by the word Sat. So these works of sacrifice, penance, and charity, true to the absolute nature, are performed to please the Supreme Person. So when we say Sat means eternal, so activities done for the service of Lord reveal the true spiritual nature. In such activity, the performer of actions becomes eternal. Activities are aimed at the eternal, and the benefits of the activities are also eternal. So otherwise, it is not permanent. It's only temporary, and it's not beneficial. So that's why we use Om Tat Sat. So what does he mean by this? Sacrifice, austerities, and charities, whatever we talked about, it should be performed with faith in the Supreme, and it's non-permanent. O son of Pritha, regardless of whatever rites are performed, if you do it without faith in the Lord, then it is not permanent. It's known as Asat, and it's useless in this life and the next. See, whatever in the spiritual life, it has been told, no, even in chapter 2, that any advances you make in your spiritual life in this life, it gets carried over to the next life. If you have done 10% now, you will be starting at 10% level in the next life. But whatever benefits you have got materially in this life, you cannot carry it in the next life. Again, you have to start from 0, 1. So, whereas for spiritual life, he says whatever it's not, I mean, there's no loss or deviation because it's carried. So here, if you do this kind of sacrifice, austerity without faith in the Lord, then it is useless, because if you don't carry it out for the next life, it's no point in doing such things. Only for your glorification, you'll be doing it, and that's all. So no benefit. So this is how, when Arjuna inquired about unauthorized worship, then Krishna was addressing the faith on how worship, and it included foods, sacrifices. Then he talked about the austerity of body, mind, and speech. Then in charity also he talked about, and then how all these have to be done with offered to the Supreme, then it is beneficial. So this is the lifestyle we talked about today. And Om Tat Sat, aspects of life, food, faith, worship, and proper guidance we can get. And the best way is Krishna consciousness, because we'll have the guidance by the spiritual master. And we can get free from material entanglement and attachments. It will be perfect for our activities. And yesterday we talked about, see, today we are doing level 1 course. You can move on to level 2 course. Some of you were not there yesterday, I think. So I'll just recap on that level 2 course, what we are talking about. This has been addressed, and we have shared this link also to go for the level 2 course. There are 2 options you have, pre-Bhakti course and Bhakti Sadachar course. And pre-bhakti course is more like academic type. And that is, will be there for 2 days per week. And we're covering Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and all that. And because it's academic oriented, it will have some quiz, assignments and attendance. But for this, if you want to enroll, you should complete the level 1 certificate you should have. That you should have that. That is mandatory. But you can, if you, there are people, no, like householders and all, no, or professional people, they don't have time to do this assignment and all that, but they can enroll for the Bhakti Sadachar course. Here it is for 2 days, but again, here I think there's some slight difference is there in the course content. You'll have some Vaishnava ethics, then there's they will be talking about acharyas, and of course you will be covering a little bit from Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, but it is non-academic, like, you know, you won't have quiz and assignment, but your certificate is not required. That is level 1 thing, you can start up. But one thing is, you'll have the advantage of association. You will be still in this with the association of devotees, so that your sadhana can continue. Otherwise, sadhana, no, we won't be able to sustain yourself. So then again, start your chanting, then association is good to have. And also the scriptures you might not have time to read. So in association, you can go through the scriptures. So those are a lot of benefits. So the next level, these are 2 choices you can think, but you're still young. I think you can do this academic also, because you're now still in that academic mode, no? You can try level 1, level 2 course. Okay. With this, I will start. Anything else you want, any doubts, you can ask us. And the link is been shared in the group. Okay. Vancha kalpatru abhyascha kripa sindhu abhe evacha patitam nam pavnebhyo vaishnavyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please chant and think and